Everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Myself, Vaibhav. In today's session of Visual JForex, we will be considering the BWMFI, which is the Market Facilitation Index, developed by the Bill Williams. We are doing the indicator series, which were developed by the Bill Williams. And in today's session, we will consider the functions and the basic technical description and how it is going to help us in determining the trend and the strength of the technical trend in any instrument, and for that we will see the technical aspects of this indicator, and then we will also try to implement it on the chart to gain more clarity, further clarity on its technical aspects and its functionality. If you consider the brief description, this is the indicator which helps you determine the change of price and the underlying force, and it kind of gives you the volumes impact on the movement. And here, when you consider the output values, these four output values are there, you don't really get any idea of the possible upside or the downside momentum. What you get is the dynamics and the volume which is driving that price. So you have to use this data with the conjunction of other technical indicators or any other technical indicator which will also guide you determine to help you determine the trend. And with that you can use this indicator, and basically you get the dynamics, and since it is also incorporating the volume data, you get to see how many market participants are on the side of that momentum. If it is MFI up, that is the market facilitation index is also up and the volume is up, which means that more and more market participants are participating in this activity. And suppose if the price is moving on the upside when the MFI is up and the volume is up, you get fair bit of idea that this trend, this momentum is strong. And if the price is moving in the downside while the MFI is up and the volume is up, you get fair bit of idea that the price momentum is strong, but it is on the bearish side. So it can work both ways. So to gain clear cut idea of the momentum, you have to incorporate the price action data, and this MFI and the volumes data will help you cement your understanding of the trend. And as I said, we have these four output parameters, and these four output parameters help us in gauging the market sentiments. And now if we consider its build, we get this block on the Visual JForex platform, which is developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA for helping us automate the trading setup. And now that if we consider this BWMFI block, here you will have this brief description which we have already seen, the product description. And whenever you feel confused regarding any aspect of that, you can go through it. We have to set these input parameters. We have to define the default instrument, which can be any, and here you will have this list of the supported instrument. And you can use any of these instruments. Suppose if you want to use Nasdaq, the USA Tech, you can do that. You can even work on the shares, the Apple or whichever shares are supported by the platform. And this way, let us for example take this GBP and then you have to determine the time period on which you are going to apply that indicator. And since it is the default period has been set at 10 minutes, you can change it as well. You can take any time period starting from 10 seconds to almost 1 month. Suppose for example, let us take 30 minutes, and you can set that parameters here. Shift When shift is 0, that means the current candle's data is being taken into account. When the shift is 1, 2 or 3 or so on, that means the lookout period will be back in time by that many candle periods. Suppose if it is 30 minutes each, then we will be going back by 2 hours in time if shift is 4. So that way you have to calculate. Now coming to the output values, we have these 4 output parameters: the MFI up, volume up, MFI down, volume down, MFI up, volume down, MFI down, and the volume up. And these these four outputs have to be interpreted accordingly, and as you can see here, this when the both MFI and the volumes are up, that means the trading activity is increasing with the movement acceleration. As I said, if it is on the upside, that means the more and more market participants are taking bids on the upside. If the price is going down, then that means the increasing market participants are betting on the downside. When the MFI is down and the volume is down, that means the market participants are no longer interested in the current direction and are adopting the wait and watch approach for any sign of any further development which will help them determine, or you can say, to decide on which side the action is likely to shift. So in this instance, when the MFI is also down and the volume is down, that means the market activity, or you can say the interest in the underlying trend, is drying up, and simply we are sitting on the sidelines in a way. When the MFI is up but the volume is up, that means that the movement is continuing. The price action also plays a key role here, and the momentum is there but the volume is dropping. That means not many are really convinced that this is a strong ongoing trend. So maybe the price is driving up or price is going down, but fewer and fewer market participants are actually taking bets, and that means the activity is on the lower side, though the momentum is there, and maybe the reversal is likely to happen soon. When the MFI is down and the volume is up, that means the movement is slowing down while the volume is rising. That means maybe in reverse fashion, the trend might change. So often a U-turn looks possible in such scenarios when the price action is moving, when the sudden certain underlying momentum is there. Now it is kind of drying down. The MFI is going down. That means that the momentum which was there earlier is now beginning to lose steam, and it is barely able to sustain itself. But at the same time, volume is going up. That means maybe people are losing faith in the underlying trend, and now they are anticipating kind of change in reversal, change of fortune for the underlying instrument. And in such scenarios, the possibility of MFI going down while the volume picking up can be seen in the market. Now let us move to the charts to see how this plays out in the real scenario. So these are the MFI output values. Here you will see these bars of 4 different colors. Sometimes it is blue, sometimes green, sometimes yellow, sometimes brown, red. So we have this market facilitation index, BWMFI, and we have to see its input and output parameters. As you can see here, when the green bar was there, means last hour, we had this situation where the MFI was going up and the volume was also going up and the price action is also moving higher. That signified that the change, or you can say the momentum, was picking up on the higher side, on the buy side, and as we are seeing in current hour as well, that is able the price action is able to sustain itself and it is continuing on the same path as was the initiation in last hour. Before that, we had this yellow bar, and yellow bar signifies we have to see the color coded combination here, and the yellow bar stands for MFI going down and volume picking up. And as you can see, that means we had this earlier kind of reversal as we were talking about the output values description. There I said that when the MFI is going down while the volume is picking up, imminent reversal is likely. And here you can see that kind of ideal scenario has taken place. We had this possible sign of reversal happening, then fresh momentum picked up, and now we have this continuation of this upward momentum in current hour. So we have to use these four output values in conjunction with the other parameters like the price action, which we see on the historical candle data. So you can even use the historical candles closing levels if it is closing higher or if it is closing lower. That can also be used in conjunction with the four output values which we get. So here you have to define these all these four output values. We have these output trend up and trend down scenarios color coded by these bars, and as I have explained that various output determine, or you can say signal, various scenarios, and we have to trade accordingly. So whenever you have this green bar, you kind of see that as a strong momentum being present in the underlying instrument, and then you take a look on the price action how that particular candle has closed, and that way you can think about going in for a fresh trade, or you can even use this possible reversal sign, the MFI going down and volume going up, as also possibility of reversal taking place, and then you can plan accordingly, or you can use different combination of candles, how two or three consecutive historical candles have closed and what has been their values on these output parameters, and then comparing that, or you can even take a combination of that and then determine the direction of your trade, whether to go long or whether to go short. The MFI down and volume down thing I said, that means the momentum is drying up. So here let us see what was the hour. So this was 18 GMT of 16th July, and now if we go here 18th, yes, this is 18 GMT 16th of July. So as you can see here, we had this red bar when the volume is also down and the MFI is also down, and that means people were losing interest in going short, and as you can see, we don't really see fresh momentum on the lower side, and later on this consolidation phase happens, and eventually we see this momentum picking up. So in a way, this is kind of explaining what we are anticipating using this MFI indicator, and as I said, this is a fairly useful indicator, and if used with conjunction with other markers of the trade system, it can work very well and help us determine whether to go long or whether to go short. And I think we have not paid much attention to this third output value, which is when the MFI is up and the volume is down. This case happens when the momentum is strong after maybe start of the momentum with this green bar, when the MFI was up and the volume was also up. So you can say this as a continuation of the trend. And when there is a blue bar, that simply means it is a continuation of the underlying trend, but the people are losing interest. In a way, you can say that when you see the volume data is lower, or you can say volume data is down compared to the earlier hour. So in such scenario, you don't really try to uh, initiate fresh uh, trade. You can use this as a possible case where you decide to sit on the sidelines and wait out for further clarity. So that way, this blue bar can be of use while determining the combination you want to use. So here, now output values and how to use these on the Visual JForex platform. I will explain to you with this blog description. Now we have seen this data and we have to go here. Okay, so here we have now whenever we go to any particular bar, we will see its output parameter value. And now for current hour, we have MFI up and volume down. So here, let me see if we can see that value in a bigger and bolder way. Maybe. Okay. So whenever you see you have to use any particular output value at any given hour, for any given hour, you will have only one value which will be higher than 0, and all other three output values will be at 0. So you have only one output value, and when you are designing any algorithm, all you have to do is define the condition that you have to put this output value in if and else statement, and you have to take a logical component, and what you have to do is you have to use this output value. Suppose if we are looking at a situation where the MFI is down and the volume is down, and now that you can't really compare these values to the others, all you have to do is make sure that for any particular hour that value is above 0. So here on chart, whenever there is a red bar, suppose this is the time 18 GMT 16 July. So at that point in time, as you can see here, not it is not really clearly visible, but still I would tell you the value, and the value is 11.9 raised to the power minus 8. So we have this output value, and with the help of that we can make sure that the trading happens. We can determine it is yes. So we have to put the condition that that particular output value is above 0. It is whenever you will put this condition, and as I said, only one output value will be above 0, so you will get this output value, and if it is above 0, then you can determine whether the trading should happen in a particular way or not. So you can use all these output values in that way only one output value will be above 0, whereas other three output values will be equal to 0. So you can determine, you can design your algorithm in such a manner where you can put in this if and else statement and put in the conditions. And if you consider these further customization, then you can put this condition whether the calculation should happen on the bit side or on the ask side. And also, as we have already seen for many of the earlier indicators, which way you calculate, whether you use closing price, whether you use open price, high price or low price, you get different values for the output parameters. And so we have to plan accordingly, and we have to see which applied price serves our purpose better. So you will see that depending on the parameter which we are using for the calculation of this indicator, our output values will be different. Suppose if we choose calculate from the custom data, and side is used from the chart, and let us see what changes needs to be done. Side, okay, bid is fine. Time period is custom from the chart. Instrument is all fine. And here the customization is not given, but on the Visual JForex platform you can choose the customization, and you can choose closing price, high price, low price, or other options which are given there, and you can then with the help of that choose to customize your indicator in a certain manner, which will help you in making sure that you are only getting involved in profitable scenarios when you feel the probability is on your side. So that's it for today's session of this MFI technical indicator, and I hope you got a fair amount of idea how you can use these indicators for your advantage to automate the trading and then sit back and relax as the action unfolds. So thank you all for joining in. We will be back tomorrow in tomorrow's session with a fresh indicator to work on. Have a fabulous day ahead. Goodbye.